All right, y'all. Welcome to Photopea. This is just a recap if you missed class, or this is going to show you exactly how to kind of upload your project and get it going. So when you log on, you're going to go to photopea.com. Then it's going to open up to this page. You're going to start off with a new project. When you go to a new project, it kind of gives you a bunch of different layouts of what you could choose. So you could choose like a YouTube profile, YouTube cover, Twitter, Facebook, whatever thing, print, photo, for screens, for mobile. So it gives you a lot of different layouts of how you can kind of set up your page. So I'm just going to start off with just like something simple. We'll do like a YouTube profile. And then I'm just going to do create. So this will kind of be like the setup for my background. But one of the things I wanted to do specifically is to open up the file that I'm working on. So when we go to open up files, you go to file right here and then click open. And then it's going to lead you to wherever your pictures are on your desktop. So for mine, I'm just going to click this right here. And it's going to change the sizes of my project window that I'm working on, but that's okay. So I kind of have two files open right now, but this one right here is kind of like the main one. Now, before you do anything, you may just want to decide to save this. So you want to save as a PSD. What this does is this saves this thing as a Photoshop file so that if you mess up on it at any point, you can come back and you can fix it and work on it again. And you'll see that it saves onto your computer as a PSD. And then if you want to save it as a picture, you can go to here and export as a picture. So those are the two ways to kind of like save your files and actually look at them. But right now we're just going to work on a couple different things. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to rotate this picture. So I'm going to go to where it says image. I'm going to go to adjustments. And then in adjustments, and actually, pardon me, not even in adjustments, you're going to go to where it says transform. My bad. So we could rotate this, or we could just flip it horizontally or flip it vertically. I'm just going to flip it vertically. And then we'll see what happens. The program just takes a second to do it. And then boom, there you go. So I like where this is going right now. The one thing is the words in here are backwards. So I'm going to go back to image and I'm going to go to transform. And then we're going to flip horizontally. It's going to take a second and then boom. Now that's a little bit more like it. So when you go to flip your images, you're going to go to where it says that and you're going to go to transform to be able to move it around. Now, the next thing I want to do is I don't like this blue part right up here. So I'm going to try to crop that. So right over here is a crop tool. Over all these tools, if you just hover over it, it'll tell you what it does. So I'm going to click crop and then I'm going to go here and click and drag this all the way down. And if you want to adjust it, you can go to these little squares and pull it up and down to adjust it. And then when I have this in the kind of like look that I want, with the kind of look I want, I just hit the check and the check is going to crop everything for me. So just a reminder on how to do that. You just go right to this thing right here. You hover over the crop tool and you click it, you click and then drag, and then it will crop what you need to crop for you. And the last thing I want to show you guys is just some of the adjustment effects. There are three different parts to this I'm going to show you. This is the first box with a couple of effects, the second box with the next series, and then the third box with a little bit more. With this first box, this adjusts the brightness and the contrast. So if I click on this first one, program always takes a second. You're going to see this kind of like box right here. Now with this box, you could do the brightness. You can make it brighter if you want to. And as soon as you pull this bar up, you'll see in the picture right here, it starts to get a little brighter. If we want more contrast, that shows you like a separation between colors and lights and darks. It's almost like it's a little bit sharper, but the brightness will kind of make things a little bit more crispier and cleaner to see, or just more visible, I guess is the word I'm looking for. So I like the way that's going right there. To do that, you go to adjustments and there's brightness and contrast, levels, curves. All of these change like the brightness and the darkness. The second one, box right here, is all about the colors. So I'm going to go to the one that says Vibrance, just the first one at the top. And then when I go to this, I'm just going to mess with the vibrance. And I want you to notice what it looks like in the actual picture. So I'm going to raise the vibrance and look at like the red and look at some of the colors. They kind of go up a little bit. Now look at what happens when I do the opposite. Ooh, I think I kind of like the less vibrancy. And then saturation is no color, full color. So you can kind of adjust the vibrancy that way. And to do that, you go to where it says image, adjustments, vibrancy. In this whole section, you could adjust colors and anything having to do with colors. The last section right here is just how to like add in a couple of little effects to your design. One of the more popular ones is Invert. So I'm going to click that and you'll see instantly what happens. It kind of does like an opposite effect of the colors. If I want to undo that, I can just go to this little thing right here and go back a step. So if I click on the step back, it always goes back in history as to what I'm doing. So those are just three main things that we're focusing on just to get started. The first one, again, all with the brightness and darkness. The second box is all about the color. And the third box are just some special effects that you could add on to your image. So for right now, I like my image just the way it is. It's nice and clean. I'm going to go to File, and I'm going to go to Export, and I'm going to save it as a PNG file. PNG stands for PostNet Graphic. It just makes it a lot easier for the internet to understand and different file formats to work. When it comes to saving it, notice that this is at 4,000, which means your picture is really, really big. When your picture is that big, it takes a long time to download. So I'm just going to make it significantly smaller. I'm going to make it 400, and the width and the height are going to kind of correspond to each other, meaning that they're linked. So you'll see it instantly changed. And there you go. My picture is like a lot smaller and visible. If I want to even bring it up to 500, I can probably do that and still get away with it. But basically, it just makes your picture smaller so it's easier to download and look at. I'm just going to click save. And then if I click here, there's my picture. There it is. So my picture right here is shareable. It's a little grainy because it's small, but if I save it as a bigger format, it'll look good. So that's kind of how you work in Photopea just to start. Yeah, hopefully this makes sense, and we'll talk to you guys soon.